Alright guys, we're kind of getting towards the middle of November, and this is my Loquat tree that I planted in February in hopes that it would make it through our summer, but the summer was the hottest that it's ever been, where it kind of seemed like it was over 110 degrees every day, and you can see that it died. So I scratched the trunk back here, and no good. It's dead. So I'm going to try planting one now in hopes that it can go all through winter, maybe get established a little bit before next summer. So that's the hope. So I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, so here it is. This is my grafted gold nugget loquat. So I got this from Shamus this weekend, and this is the biggest one I had. He didn't have any big ones. He had some seedlings that were really big, but they were $400 and they wouldn't have fit my truck. So I went with this one and see if we can get this established. So I'm just gonna plant it in the same spot. So I'm just gonna dig a hole and plug it in. So I'll work on that now. There it is. Not much of a root ball. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep digging that up. We need about the size of this pot over here. Alright, so this hole is already prepped because I actually prepped this and planted this other tree in February, so it drains pretty well. But I am going to add a little bit of just a couple of amendments here. I'm going to add a little bit of fertilizer and then some mycorrhiza. And so that's just to kind of help these roots get established here. And so I'm going to make this flush with the ground. It might stick up just a little bit, which is okay. And then I'm just going to backfill with this native dirt that's here. So this stuff drains pretty well. It's not perfect, but it'll definitely do the job. So wish me luck, you guys. I've been trying on a loquat for a long time. This is my third attempt. They've all died. No, this is my fourth attempt. And so I'm really hoping that planting this in November is a trick. Okay, so I'm just going to step over here. And let's see if I can get this pot. This is always dangerous here. You pulling the roots out. But
it's satisfying.
It's satisfying. This is pretty good. Shamus has good trees. So I'm just going to break these roots up a little bit because they're a little bit root bound. Not too bad. You can see down at the bottom of the pot, the roots are kind of circling around the bottom. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to this mycorrhiza here. I like to sprinkle some on the root ball, put some in the bottom of the hole there. Okay. Right. There we go. Now I'm just going to try to orient this the way I want it. So it's going to stand back over here and look at it. I think that looks pretty good like that. He might be a little small, but he's a fighter. Alright, so now just going to add a little bit of this fertilizer here. It's not a ton. And I'm going to mix it in. and then drop it down into the hole here.
Why do I like the smell of that?
It's that smell of the dirt. It is a beautiful smell. If you're a gardener, if you're not a gardener and you're smelling dirt, people are going to think you're crazy. But if you are a gardener, like me and Logan are, then you're going to love it. So it's important to make sure you don't have any air pockets in here. So I'm going to kind of tuck this into the side here a little bit. I think we're getting pretty close. And so I have this well up around the tree here. And when I add the water bubblers over here, and as it goes, it just fills this whole area. And so I have this well here, and then it just soaks into the ground and goes nice and deep every time I water it. So, and I've got a whole bunch of mulch here, you can see. I'm just going to spread that around the area, and then I'm going to water it in, and it should be good to go. Okay, so now we have it planted. I put some compost down there on the base layer, and now I just got to add this mulch back in, and this will keep it protected and moist in the winter time. So I'll show you when I'm all done. Okay, so I got this mulch down here, and here's something that's important, a little detail that I tend to forget, and that's cut these straps off. You don't want these because they'll start restricting the tree. As the tree kind of grows, you'll have these bands in here if you leave them on, and it will restrict this from growing and just slow down the transfer of nutrients up the stem and into the leaves and the branches. So just a little side note, because I have a tendency to forget to do that. Alright guys, I got the tree planted, I got the mulch down, got some compost, got a little bit of food in there for it, and now I'm just going to hope. This is my 4th attempt. Is this going to be the right one? Is this going to be the time that I succeed? I sure hope so, because I'm really anxious to see how these... I've tried one before, and I know I like the fruit, but even more importantly, this is a beautiful tree. It's an evergreen, and it's going to look great in my yard. So I'm going to take note here at the growth, because what I'm hoping to see is maybe, maybe a foot of growth before the spring. So we'll see what happens. If this thing starts to flower, I'm going to pull the flowers off. I don't always do that. Some trees I'll try. It's always best if you're patient enough. It's always best if you take the fruit off the first year. But I planted that in February. That's a white sapote. And if that thing fruits or flowers, I'm going to go ahead and leave them on because I want to try one. I probably won't leave too many on. You don't want to leave too many on. But that tree doesn't struggle with our climate. It did struggle a little bit with the heat, but it grew throughout the summer. And it's looking pretty good. Whereas this one's just a struggle. So I'm not going to let it put any energy into anything besides establishing its roots and just kind of growing a little bit. So anyway, guys, subscribe if you want to see if I'm successful with the Loquat. Again, this is the Gold Nugget Loquat, and I'll do updates on this in the spring. We'll check in on it from time to time and see how it's doing. Alright, thanks for watching.